A few episodes ago, we talked about the Disneyland parks at the Disneyland Resort. And now we're going to go all the way over the other side of the country. We're going to talk about Walt Disney World, starting with Magic Kingdom. This is episode number 46. I'm Soraya.
I'm Aurora.
And together we're just your average Disney travelers. Okay, so we had fun talking about the different parks at Disneyland.
Yeah.
We have a bit more experience with those parks.
Definitely.
And so even though I think we're looking forward to doing the parks at Walt Disney World, what's your concern?
I don't really remember anything besides the attractions, basically.
Yeah.
I don't remember restaurants, quick services. There's not that many shows, unless like you're in Hollywood Studios that has like a lot of shows, I think, right?
Yeah, there's more there.
Yeah, there's more there.
Well,
like
it's been a while too. We go to Disneyland a lot more often. And so we've been there just a month or so ago, a couple months ago now. And I guess I can't believe we're in September and this is going to be September 12th. So, oh my goodness. But still, so it's been a couple months, but even still, it's been 3.5 years since our last Walt Disney World visit. And so, and that was it was you and I with our family, not our family, immediate family, our extended family, the Himovitzes, my sister and her family. And then we, as a family, our family went the year before that. So it's been a while since we've really done a whole lot at Disney World. I think we're overdue.
Yeah,
we need to get back. I hope we can soon. I would really like to go back during the 50th anniversary.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, they're going to do it for 18 months. So hopefully maybe we'll see.
Months.
Okay, so we're not as familiar with it, but we're going to give it our best shot. We definitely know lots of information about it, but when it comes to the favorites at the end of this segment, it may get a little dicey.
Yeah,
especially for you, I think. But even for me, that's okay. All right, do you want to start us off about the Magic Kingdom?
Yeah, it opened on October 1st, 1971. It started with 23 attractions, but now there are currently 35 attractions, and it is 137 acres.
No, 107 acres.
What have I said?
137.
Did I seriously?
Yeah.
107 acres.
I woke her up from a nap to do this podcast. Can you tell? Yeah. And so 35 attractions, according to how I counted the attractions. I think it all depends on how you count them. Like I noticed that on the website, if you go, they'll list each of the railroad stops as an attraction. And I think that the Walt Disney Railroad is one attraction that has multiple stops.
Yeah.
Not, I know that's not the Main Street boarding, and another one is where they have it at Disney World. Is it Frontierland or I can't remember now because
no idea. I have no idea.
I know it's been a while since we've been there, and we usually when we're at Disney World we ride it as a ride, not as a transportation, and so we usually just stay on it for a whole circle.
Yeah.
But at Disney World, I know exactly where they all are. Okay, so
Disneyland,
yes. Yeah, I didn't even wake up from a nap, so I don't have an excuse.
You're just as discombobulated as I am.
I know. Okay, so the Magic Kingdom is also known as, it's often called the most magical place on Earth. And sometimes people will accidentally or unknowingly call it the happiest place on Earth. But where is the happiest place on Earth, Aurora? You know it.
I'm trying to think of the place. Anaheim.
No. Well, it's Disneyland, just Disneyland, not the city.
No, I meant like it was in Anaheim.
Well, yes, but I meant the park. Sorry, which park is the happiest place on Earth? The happiest place on Earth is Disneyland, and so sometimes people accidentally say Magic Kingdom is that, but no, Magic Kingdom in it you can tell because it's the Magic Kingdom, so it's the most magical place on Earth. So those are the two differences.
Wow, they just got to get it right.
I know, get it right. But both are happy and both are magical, so I can understand the confusion. You're laughing at me. All right. what should we talk about next? Oh, never mind. That's still me. So the Magic Kingdom and all of Walt Disney World was initialized by Walt Disney. He had, he was not entirely happy with everything about Disneyland. As they built Disneyland and as it developed and grew, he realized there were things that he would have liked to have done better. And he was looking for not a start over or anything to replace it, but another location to kind of fix some of those mistakes. And so that's why they started, they called it the Florida Project. But before they actually began construction on the park, unfortunately, Walt Disney passed away. So he was not alive even when the construction began on Magic Kingdom, which is sad. But he did pick out the location. He was definitely involved with that part. On opening day at Magic Kingdom, there were 10,000 guests, which sounds like a lot, but in 2019 at Magic Kingdom, for that whole year, there were 20.9 million guests, which made it the most visited theme park in all the world for the 13th consecutive year. And for North America, it made it the most visited theme park in North America for at least the 19th year. So it is definitely the theme park. We get visitors from all over the world coming to Walt Disney World and to Magic Kingdom. And of the parks in Walt Disney World, it is the most visited, obviously, because it's the most visited of everything. So, all right, tell us more about Magic Kingdom. What are the lands?
So there are 6 lands: Main Street, USA, Adventureland, Frontierland, Liberty Square, Fantasyland, and Tomorrowland.
And I always feel like at Disneyland, there's so many more lands, and it feels weird to only have 6 and Magic Kingdom is bigger in size than Disneyland, but it has fewer lands. But anyways, that's just how it is.
Yeah.
They used to have Toontown, although it wasn't quite the same as our Toontown, but still they got rid of that when they expanded the Fantasyland. But alrighty, the park, Magic Kingdom Park, if you're familiar with Disneyland, it's totally different over at Disney World. So at Disney World, there's just so much more space. So we've talked about this before. Instead of being one city square mile block like Disneyland Resort, it is 40 square miles. I believe I've heard it's the size of San Francisco. It's just huge. And so the park itself, even from the parking lot, unlike even at Disneyland, you do still have to take trams and shuttles sometimes from the parking lots. But this one, it's like on the other side of a lagoon. It's like a mile away on the other side of Seven Seas Lagoon. And so it's not like you get out of your car and you walk up to the gates. And you can't even take the tram to the gates. You take a tram up to the TTC, which is the Ticket and Transportation Center, I think. And that's where you can buy your tickets. And that's where you get on either a monorail or a ferry boat to get over or across the lagoon around it to get to the park. And so
basically it takes a lot more to get from like the parking lot to the parks.
Yeah, even just the parking lot to Magic Kingdom takes longer than you would expect.
Yeah.
Compared to most type of parks and things. All right.
The icon is the Cinderella Castle, which is 189 feet tall.
Yeah. Do you know why it's 189 feet tall?
Because they can't have it more than 200 feet.
Why?
Because then they put lights on for airplanes.
Yeah. So that's any building that's 200 feet or taller, you have to have a light on it for the air traffic control, whatever airlines. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that would take away from the magic, Disney felt. So they built because even though, so like at Disney World, when one of the reasons they wanted to have all that land and everything, they wanted to be able to have more control over it. They actually created their own town, and so that they could make the zoning rules and things, but there's still some things that you just have to follow no matter what.
Yeah.
And so that height is an airline thing and safety thing. So yeah, so none of the buildings at any of the Disney parks are over 200.
Terror is 198.
or something like that.
Yeah,
It's very close.
It's very close,
It's
but not
taller
there.
than Cinderella Castle.
Yeah.
But it's still not, it's almost, it's like 198 or maybe even 199, but it's not 200.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't have to have the light. Okay, so let's see what favorites we can remember. Do you, or maybe even, do you have any memories, whether they're good or bad, a favorite or not, of any of the quick service dining?
Quick service. We got Dole Lips.
Oh yes, we always get Dole Whips
and Mickey bars.
and Mickey bars. Those are snacks though.
Well, that's
like
all
a
I remember
with food. And I hear you that we just don't always we
I
don't
got,
have as many.
I'm assuming that I got a lot of mac and cheese.
Oh, you always have your whole life where we go places, you get mac and cheese because that's your favorite. I don't know if we've talked about that on here before, but yes, that is your favorite.
So like I don't remember anything when it comes to dining.
So when it comes to Magic Kingdom, okay, so first of all, before you, obviously the first visit we did as a family was before you were born, so you would have nothing to do with that. But the first visit we did when you were born, we were on the dining plan, and at that point most of our meals most of our table service choices were character meals, and that fills you up a lot. And so we didn't always, depending on where we were eating and which meals, we didn't always have a lot of quick service. And so we did have quick service, but it might have been something where if we were having a later meal, we might have had a like breakfast at the hotel and then not had a quick service meal in the parks if we were doing a later, like a table service dinner. And so there just might not be as many that you can remember. I'll share some of the things I remember. I definitely remember getting a hot dog from Casey's and sitting on the corner and waiting for a parade. I remember doing that with you guys, and we and they're just so big too. And I don't remember if we even finished it all, but that wasn't but I wouldn't say that was my favorite for sure. I'm trying to remember. I know that we've had is it the Columbia Harbor House, I believe it's called, and a lot of people love that place, but I don't like seafood or like clam chowder and things like that. So there are things that I can eat there, but wouldn't say that that's my favorite either. I think right now my most top of my list, if I had to think of one, is the Pecos Bill Tall Tale Inn and Cafe, I think is what it's called. But anyways, Pecos Bill's. And the reason why I remember this is because we went there while Acadia was on a diet for her medicals. She had to be on a gluten-free diet. And that was one that was kind of labeled as being a really, first of all, any place you go to, they can accommodate, really. They're very good no matter where you go, accommodating for dietary needs. But for this one was kind of applauded for being really great for dietary needs, especially gluten. And so we went there, and it has a variety. So I believe, if I remember right, it has like Mexican food as well as burgers. And so it gave a little bit more versatility for people who had different tastes and wanted something different. And then I also remember there being a just like at Smoke Jumpers, they'll have, before COVID, they had the condiment cart where they just had tons of condiments you could add on yourself, and they had that, and I just remember thinking that was really awesome. So from what I can recall, that one would be my favorite, I would say. Okay. So, all right. Do you have any recollection of table service? And do you?
I remember Ohana.
Okay.
And I remember really loving that.
And Ohana is one of my favorites too, but Ohana is not actually in the Magic Kingdom.
What?
But it's
Why did you write it down then?
Oh, for me, I was making a note of it because I was going to say that when we're at the Magic Kingdom, sometimes what we've done and what we did is go over to across
you lied to me.
I didn't lie to you. You misread. You didn't clarify when you read my notes. My notes were just quick notes. Oh, I wonder if they can hear our neighbor's dog.
Clarify your notes.
That's because I knew what my notes meant. So Ohana, I would say, it's not a Magic Kingdom restaurant, but it's easy access from the Magic Kingdom. And it is a restaurant at the Polynesian Village Resort, and love it. So good for dinner. Delicious. We loved it. And I want to go back there, and this is making me hungry for it right now, just talking about it. But what I was going to also say was that one that I have not tried yet in the Magic Kingdom, but is on the top of my list now because I hear nothing but good things about it. Oh my goodness. I hope that that dog is not getting picked up too much because he won't stop barking. He usually doesn't bark that long, but I wonder if they like shut the door on him and left him outside and he wants back in. Anyways, Liberty Tree Tavern is a lot of people's very favorite, and it's on the list for me, like one of the top of the list that I want to try the next time we go, because that sounds like some really good food, and their dessert there's a gooey toffee dessert thing that everyone raves about, so we're gonna have to try it. But of actual memories, I don't know. We really have mostly done character meals there, and they're great, but I don't know, probably Cinderella's Royal Table inside the castle. Do you remember that breakfast?
Nope.
Not even from videos and photos? You must.
Well, that doesn't mean I remember it.
Well,
I only remember like that one picture that had like the star thing and I was all dressed up. That's literally like, I don't like remember anything else.
I'm gonna have to send you a video to make you remember, because it was one of my.
But technically, it still wouldn't really be a memory.
But it would still help you remember a little bit. Okay, how about attractions? This you should know. What are your favorite
Mine
attractions?
Train. I'm assuming Space Mountain because I haven't been on the one at Disney World, but I should still.
Since you love the one at Disneyland so
Yeah.
much, you assume you will probably.
Oh, this is top 3. Well, I'm not gonna give you only 3, probably.
Well, that's okay. You've never given me only 3. You've always had 4 for your top 3. So why stop now?
Oh, I think I might have had 5. Before.
Okay, so you said Seven Dwarfs Mine Train.
Yeah.
You're assuming Space Mountain.
Yes. I just thinking of it. Pirates.
Okay.
It's not as good as
It's not
Disneyland.
nearly as good.
Yeah, but still
You'd still
decent.
say it's one of your favorite rides. Probably.
Yeah.
I would say Thunder Mountain. Thunder Mountain is
Thunder
pretty
Mountain.
close to what it is at Disneyland. So I think that would be your favorite.
And then there's also Jungle Cruise.
I want to veto your Pirates because I don't even have Pirates on my list because it's so not. I want to say it's not one of yours and knock you down from 5 to 4.
Okay.
Because it's just not nearly as good. It's so much shorter and it doesn't have the extra drop and it's just not nearly as good.
That's true.
And so honestly, you can obviously have your own opinion, but for me,
it probably isn't. It's just been a while.
Yeah. For me, my opinion is I don't even have to do it at Disney World because Disneyland's is so much better. Why would I waste my time at Disney World on it? But if I'm with anyone that really wants to ride it, I'll ride it for sure. But it is where it is my very favorite at Disneyland. It is not even close on Disney World. Yeah. Anyways, so I say you still have 4 then.
Okay.
That keeps with your tradition.
Okay.
I wonder if you're gonna be able to finish all these out with that.
I don't know the next one.
We'll probably be doing Epcot next week.
That's gonna have a lot more for food.
Yes, I know you love the food in Epcot. We all do. Okay, so for me, I don't know if I can rank them. So things totally change when we go to Disney World, different than Disneyland. So even though some of the rides that are my favorite are at both, it's complete opposite as to which one what's my favorite when I'm at each park. So Jungle Cruise is one that's on both lists. I really do like the Jungle Cruise at both parks, and I don't feel like one is necessarily better than the others. I know some people think the Disney World's is. I'm gonna have to read.
Is the Disney World one also getting the update?
Yes, both had the updates.
Okay.
Those recent changes. And Disney World has like this little tunnel that you go under where like you're going underneath a temple or something. And do you remember that? Yeah. So that's the Jungle Cruise at Disney World at Magic Kingdom. But they don't have that at Disneyland.
One doesn't have the temple thing.
No. Yeah. So anyways, so there's a little bit of difference. But that's on my list. I love the People Mover. The Tomorrowland Transit People Mover.
I remember that.
And I'm bummed that Disneyland does not have that anymore. But
I do actually really like that.
Isn't it a great, you know what's funny about that ride?
Never mind,
Dang it. Okay, so so the People Mover, I didn't realize this until I was thinking about it for this conversation. I think that is almost always the last ride we do before we leave Walt Disney World.
Really?
Yeah.
I
And
wouldn't remember, so I would believe any ride,
because
honestly.
usually when we leave Walt Disney World, the day we're leaving, we usually have a flight in the afternoon. And so we usually have, the morning to do something. And so we often will go, and we almost always begin and end our trips in Magic Kingdom, because I love the Magic Kingdom. And so usually we're in Magic Kingdom and it's just for the morning, and we usually will do a couple of our favorites or something. And then before we leave, as we're kind of saying goodbye, we do the People Mover. And it has never been intentional, but as I look back, I'm pretty sure that's been the last ride we ride almost every time. And so I think that's pretty cool. And now that I realize that, we're gonna have to make sure it is because now it's like, oh, tradition, we have to do that. But we do all love that. It's a fun one.
Yeah.
And it gives you a different perspective of the parks. I like it. I like not just saving it to last. I like doing it last, but I also like doing it other times during the trip. So don't save it to last, because it's cool to go on even at the beginning of a trip too. Okay, and then for my last one, I had a really hard time because there's a few things that I really like
that I can actually ride.
Yes, that I can actually ride, like Dumbo. I like the Dumbo at Walt Disney World way better than Disneyland's. And I like,
Well, it has a great queue.
It has a great queue now that they've changed it.
Wait, if you
and it's a lot shorter line, because
Peter Pan's queue
is better, but I think the ride is better at Disneyland. And so
Probably. But sometimes the queue makes up for it.
If you're going to have to wait in a line, then it can make a difference. All right. So I was torn between Dumbo. I was also thinking about the Monsters Inc. laugh floor, because I think that's hilarious. I love going in there, and it's a great way to get off your feet for a while. And it's just funny. But ultimately, I think I'm going to go with Faux Magic. Faux Magic, they have it now at Disneyland in the California Adventure Park, but I think the version at Disney World is still a little bit better, because it was just a little bit better on some of the special effects.
Yeah.
And so it's a little slightly better experience there. And I like that one. That's another one that's perfect. There's never a wait, except for you just have to wait for the previous show to end. And then they fit so many people inside the theater that you're always the next in, and you sit off your feet, and it's just a fun, nice, relaxing attraction and funny. So anyways, those are my three, a little bit more than three, but really the three. Okay. Favorite show. There aren't very many shows there.
I don't have any in this park.
For me, it's just going to have to be fireworks.
For me, I would go on rides during fireworks.
I like, what about the projection show? Because sometimes they have a projection show before the fireworks, and it would be called different things. I don't know what they have right now. I don't
remember any of them except that one.
The Magic Memories. Yeah, the Magic Memories and Me, I think, or Magic Memories and You. Yeah, that was a great year. That went along with the Wishes. Wishes would happen right afterwards.
Yeah.
So I love the fireworks and the projection shows. They do have a little stage show in front of the castle. And when you were little, we used to watch those all the time, and I liked them. But now that you're older and we don't have littles anymore, we don't usually watch that very often. It's kind of fun to kind of glance at it while you're walking by, but not to stop and stand and watch.
Yeah.
Okay, what about a favorite memory or experience? Can you remember any memory or experience? I know you can. No? Yes.
I don't know, just the experience just being there, like every single time. Like when we'd first get there, it's the Disney bubble, like actually being in the park, and just
because we always start there.
Yeah, and just like we're really at Disney World.
And I always love, because when we go, we're coming from far enough away that we go for a good amount of time. Yeah. We go at least for a week, and often longer than a week. And so even when it's just a week, it's like you're at the beginning of that week, and you're like, oh, we have a whole week to spend here. And
it just feels magical.
Yeah, it's a cool feeling.
Yeah, and a lot of that's also like partially because of like nostalgia and
the similarities to Disneyland, so you get a similar feeling. Yep. So for me, I have two favorite memories. Well, and the first one is split into two because it happened twice. And I think I've shared this before. It's when you and your sister each, when they were 5, we went and had breakfast at Cinderella Castle. And you were each dressed up like Cinderella. And they were very different experiences because they changed the formats and how they do things from time to time. So 7 years between her and yours, there were some changes, but they were both just really cool and magical. And we loved it every time, both of those times. And the look on your face, you're such a sweet little girl, and just being there in the castle with all the princesses, and it was fun. So I love that memory. And then the other one, do you remember at Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor when Dad got picked?
No, but I'm told the experience of like what happened, but
Yeah.
I kind of forgot, but I remember just a little bit.
So when you get there before the show starts and you're sitting, occasionally, because during the show people will get picked and they'll interact in the show, and he wasn't picked for that part, but he was picked for one of the parts before, and they'll just put the spotlight on somebody sitting in the seats, and then they'll put them on the screen that everyone can see, and then they'll type up something like is going to buy churros for everybody or whatever. On Dad's, it says has the sudden urge to get up and dance, and all of a sudden like a disco ball and disco music come out, and Dad had to stand up and dance. And it was just hilarious because Acadia was 12 and she was like mortified. I think she was like totally embarrassed, and you're 5, so you're like, I want to dance too. But it was just so funny, and he did it. He got up, he was a good sport, and he danced and did like some disco move. I don't know, Saturday Night Live, I don't know, there's Fever. Anyways, yeah, it was really funny. So those are my favorite memories. I think
Yeah.
we need to make more.
Yeah.
Let's go. School,
And
schmool, work, schmirk, money, whatever. Let's just go. It's just money.
And I'll probably forget a lot of times, and so we'll just have to keep going.
Oh, so you're planning to forget
Well, no, I'm not
your
planning
next time
to forget.
already so that you can go again?
I'm not planning to forget.
It's
I
just
don't like-
convenient
yeah,
to
I
you because
don't-
then you need to have to
well,
go
I
back
don't
again.
like forgetting, but it does happen a lot more.
I think
than
what
what's wished.
happens is anytime it's like this naturally for anybody that, you know, sometimes you're just not focused on the you know,
I forgot that I
every
met
everything.
Loki when we
You
were
did?
talking about.
Oh yeah, in Disney.
I just completely just forgot about that.
But I mean, like, even for us, you know, Dad and I, even we cannot
You're
remember
old.
every thanks. But like, even for us, you know, we don't, our focus isn't on every aspect. There's some aspects we just don't focus on as much, and so those don't stand out in our memory as many times. So
I love you.
yeah, I love you too. Call me old. Anyways,
It's mostly Dad.
mostly Dad. Dad is older than me. That's true. Okay. Well, that was fun.
End it on an insult.
Yeah, ending that on that insult.
Well, I mean, it's not a bad thing.
To be old.
Yeah.
That's good because I'm getting older and so are you.
It's just a matter of fact, and
And Dad's downstairs, and all of a sudden he realized he might have been included in that. He's like, are my ears burning? So we're gonna do Epcot next week. We'll go through all of the
Yes.
parks at Walt
all
Disney
the
World
food.
and all the food. That's gonna be your main focus of
Yeah, I
Epcot.
don't know the names, but I do know.
You know
the-
what food,
the food.
all the places you want to stop and eat at
Yep.
all the time. Yeah, there's a lot of great food at Epcot.
Got to spend a week at Epcot to get all the yummy
Yeah.
food.
So we will talk about that next week. So stay tuned. Thanks for tuning in this week, and we will talk to you later. We'll see you next week.
See you.